Hi class, I'm here to give you some tips and tricks for week 4's assignment, your rough draft. So you're going to need a couple things here. First, you're going to want to open up the assignment directions. So as always, make sure you read through the assignment directions carefully. Take a look at the grading criteria. What we're doing in a nutshell is we're taking our work from week 3, we're adding an introduction and a conclusion. We're adding evidence by way of quotes and paraphrases to the body paragraphs, and we're taking the feedback that I gave you from week 3 and integrating that as well. Okay, so all of that together will help you with your rough draft. So there's a sample that we're going to take a look at in a moment to kind of walk through those things. Okay, there is a template. However, I don't really think you want to use the template because you probably want to use your rough draft. If there's any comments inserted in your rough draft, you're going to need to take those out. You can't have inserted comments in a file that you submit. Okay, but I wouldn't start all over with a rough draft template. Few key things to remember. It should be 525 to 700 words in total with all the 5 paragraphs, not including the reference page or title page. Okay, again, you're going to use your week 3 work. You're going to integrate the feedback and corrections and revisions necessary. Okay, you're going to include quotes and paraphrases with in-text citations. You're going to make sure you have an introduction. You're going to have a conclusion. You want to make sure you have a title for your essay. Okay, and make sure your you make revisions to your reference page. Let's take a look at the example, the sample that we have here. And we actually looked at that last week as well. So this is actually updated now. So I don't think that there was a title on the last one, on week 3's, but here's a title, and you can see that goes on the title page, and then it goes atop the start of the real essay. Notice on a title that the first letter of each major word in the title is capitalized. Small words like and or the are not, don't have the first letter capitalized. There's an introduction here. Okay, if you read through it, I would have liked there to be a stronger hook at the front of this, but we want to have a hook, and then there's some background about the debate over family-friendly work environments, and then this introduction ends with the single sentence thesis, which previews the stance and the 3 key points of support, which turn into the body paragraph topics. If we scroll down, the first key point, the adequate family leave, which is the first point in the thesis, strong topic sentence, okay, there's evidence and analysis. You can see there is evidence by way of a paraphrase right here with a proper in-text citation. In-text citations usually use the author's last name and the year of publication in parentheses, okay, separated by a comma. Notice that the period goes after the end parenthesis on a citation. And then there's some sort of concluding sentence or sentence tying that evidence back into the topic of the paragraph. Okay, you can see here that the writer integrated a quote into the paragraph as support. Okay, and if we scroll down to the third body paragraph, there's another piece of evidence in the form of a paraphrase. I like there to be, each body paragraph should end with your own ideas, not with a paraphrase. So I think it'd be appropriate to add either a concluding sentence here that sums up the content of the paragraph, or that ties this paraphrase back into the main idea of the paragraph or into the thesis statement. Okay. This is the other style of citation where the author's last names come beforehand, before the quote or paraphrase, with the year in parentheses, and then the information follows. Let's scroll down. There's a conclusion. Okay, there's an error here that it's not indented. I think this is a little too short. We want our conclusion to be at least 5 sentences long. In the conclusion, remember, you're going to want to re-examine your thesis in light of the information you presented. Don't just copy and paste it in there. And then it's a good idea to make the issue applicable to the reader. Why should the reader care? I try and explain that. Sometimes what seemingly small idea might hit on a broader idea that is relevant to everybody. So we'll go through more ideas in class of how to write a conclusion. And then you can see that the reference page is completed. If you add any new references, any new sources when you integrate quotes and paraphrases, you need to make sure that they have a corresponding reference citation to any in-text citation that you have. So if you have any questions or concerns, don't hesitate to reach out to me, but hopefully this little video helped you out.